Hi, we're here today at Rebel Snare Productions. Today we're going to show you how to build a snare, show you the way we do it, as well as some different components and different options. We've had some requests, so we'll kind of get right into it. As far as the different components of a snare, there's some different locks. Here's an example of 4 different types of locks. This one here is called a micro lock. We've used this in the past, but we find it to be a little bit harsh on the pelts. This here is called a cam lock. It locks by using a cam action. Some people like these. We've tried them and we don't really like them as much as some of the other ones. This here is called a washer lock, a large washer lock. These are good for water sets and where you're trying to catch animals that are a little bit more sensitive. These are really fast, but they are a little difficult to set up because of the weight of the lock. The last example we have here is what's called a penny washer lock. These are our favorite. We find these to be sensitive, effective, and really good on pelts and hides. So those are 4 examples of some locks that you can use. The other components of the snare that we use is a swivel system here that goes on the end. This provides a good place to anchor the snare, as well as it provides a swiveling motion for when the animal is fighting the snare. It doesn't get the cable bound up. Here we have what we call whammies. These go on the snare and they provide a place for your support wire to go into. We like these screw ones because you can actually tighten them down onto the support wire, and then you can manipulate the snare into the position that you find the most desirable. And then for our stop, some people use aluminum ferrules. We use actually just steel nuts. These have been tested and these break at 300 pounds, so they will work with the Utah codes, because we're here in Utah and you got to have a 300-pound breakaway if the snare is not set in the water. So these fulfill our needs. And as well as we have the trap tags here that need to be affixed to all traps and snares. As far as cable, there's several different types of cable with different sizes and bands. We use what's called a 7x7 3/32 width. What that means is there's 7 strands of 7 wound together. We find this to be the best kind of overall. You can catch anything from raccoons all the way up to coyotes, and it's a great size, and so this is the one that we use. There's several other sizes. There's smaller sizes for smaller game and larger for wolf and whatnot. So those are the basic components of a snare. We'll go ahead and show you how we put ours together. One of the reasons we use snares is you have the option to cut this cable to any size that you want. For like coyotes and raccoons and different applications, you want it a little bit longer. And then where you're doing water sets, maybe for beaver or other things, you want the snares to be on a little bit shorter leash. So the snares just provide more versatility, we believe. That's one of the reasons that we use them, and we find them to be very effective. So step 1 to putting the snare together is putting the lock onto the cable. And what we do is we run it through here, through this small hole, get about a foot or 2 through there, loop it back around, and put through the large hole. And this is where your first stop will go. So we'll go ahead and attach that stop. Show you what that looks like. One of the tricks that I do is after I've attached the lock, I like it to put a little kink in this wire so it bends away from your main cable, so you don't have any hang-ups. Just use a pair of needle nose and just kind of put a crink in it like that. And what that does is allows that to hang away from your main cable, so you don't have any hang-ups. So that's the business end of the lock, or of the snare, and you can see how that tightens up and then won't release. And then some of the other components that we add are the whammy. This here is for the support wire. It goes on this direction. And then all that's left is for the swivel end. We'll go ahead and attach our trap tag for Utah regulations. What I usually do is put a little bend in it like that. put the trap tag with my name and trap registration number on it. Then I apply the swivel with a washer. That'll allow that to swivel, and then I attach another stop here at the end. So when that's done, that's your swivel. You can see that it'll turn and twist and provides a good place for your anchor in the trap. And then the trap tag just folds up there real nice. So that's a finished coyote setup for a Custom Rebel snare. One of the finishing touches that we do on these is we usually boil all of our snares in a solution of baking soda, usually about 1 gallon of water with about 4 or 5 tablespoons of baking soda. What that does is pulls the oils off of the metal, and it'll give them kind of a dingy finish so they don't shine. Another thing that you can do is you can add logwood dye to that solution, and it'll turn them a brown color. So if you're trapping in the early fall or where there's not a lot of snow or anything, you can dye these brown or black, or just leave them kind of the dingy gray finish. So that's a Custom Rebel snare right there. You can see how easy it is to make. So, thanks for watching.